Hey, what's going on, guys? Luke here, and we're here to talk about the Queensland side for Game 2 of the 2020 Origin Series. Obviously, going into this game, Queensland have the lead. All they need is one more win. Now, in Game 1, it was an unlikely win. In Game 2, I've got to say, you've got to be a lot more confident. Now, I know a lot of the players were confident going into the game. Cherry Evans, the captain, came out and said, he had full faith that they were going to win Game 1. But honestly, I looked at it and I went, surely they're full of shit here. Let's just be honest. They're not going to be winning this one, but they came out, they got the job done. And also the side that they named and the side that actually played was a little bit different. Bronco Lee pulled out last minute. Kurt Capewell came in and had the game of his life. Now, is he capable of doing it again? We'll have to wait and see. But there is a few changes to the Queensland lineup. It's on the screen right now. First up, we have Valentine Holmes in at fullback. He's coming in for AJ Brimson, who's out injured. On the wings, we have Xavier Coates, Philip Semi, Kurt Capewell, Dan Gagai are the centres. The halves, Cameron Munster, Cherry Evans. We have Dynamis Louis coming in. I don't think he played the last game, so he's in to the starting lineup due to Christian Welch being out injured. So a few injuries, which is kind of expected. I'm surprised there's not a few more injuries for both of the sides, considering there's only a week between the games. But then we have Jake Friend, Josh Papali, Felice Kafusi, Jaden Sewer into the run-on side, and then we have Tino in at lock. And then the bench is Ben Hunt, Lindsay Collins, Jai Arrow, and Fodaweka from the Titans. So, look, the side is quite strong. Now, before the first game, I probably would have looked at that side and just being honest with you, I probably would have went, weak side. But after game 1, we saw how they performed. We saw them step up, and I know what they're capable of now. So, look, we can say this side is quite a strong one. New South Wales side is a little bit stronger than game 1, in my opinion. But this side for Queensland, I think, is kind of on par with game 1. I honestly prefer Brimson a lot more than Valentine Holmes. We know Valentine Holmes can be a good player. He's been in the Origin arena before. He's done a good job, but it's been on the wing. And look, when he's played fullback for the Cowboys, he hasn't looked too good. Look, so poor, in fact, for the Cowboys that they kind of shuffled him back to the wing. Now, that could have been due to fitness. It could have been due to form. I'm thinking it's more due to form. Look, he just didn't hit the heights that he was expected to. Not that he was absolutely terrible, but just the fact that they had other guys in there. They had that youngster playing. They chucked him in there. But he's gone into the side for Queensland, and I feel like he'll be another one who steps up on the big occasions. And at least, with Valentine Holmes, you kind of know what you're going to get. You're going to get a guy who's going to run hard. You kind of maybe what Tenny's Lesniak at fullback. Kind of a little bit one-dimensional. He's not the best ball player or anything, but you're going to have a guy who's going to run super hard, and they're going to be very hard to tackle. Going to get yourself a quick play of the ball and get yourself on the front foot, which I think is quite handy to have in Origin. Now, Brimson's a different type of player, and I thought he had a fantastic game. He sort of popped up in the right moments. His defense is quite good. But Valentine Holmes, I think he'll do a pretty solid job. Like I said, Brimson a better player, but Valentine Holmes, he'll do a job, but I'm surprised he's not on the wing to start off with. Probably would have him over Philip Semi and probably over Xavier Coates, but look, quite frankly, Valentine Holmes at fullback, I think it's a decent move. At least you're chucking someone in there who has a bit of experience, especially in a side that doesn't have a lot of experience. Now, the rest of the side is pretty standard. Coates and Philip Semi were pretty solid. Capewell was obviously outstanding. Gagai, the two centres literally tore apart New South Wales. You can't drop them after that. Kurt Capewell has a little bit of an injury cloud, I believe. We saw him sort of go down the last couple of minutes. He was wearing the compression shorts, and he didn't look too flush at times, but it was enough to rip apart New South Wales, which I don't know if that's a reflection of Kurt Capewell or New South Wales. The fact that he was injured and ripped apart New South Wales, ripped apart Clinton Gutherson, I should say. But yeah, that's a good matchup. Gutherson up against Capewell. We're going to see take 2 of that unless Bronco Lee or someone comes into the side. I'm not sure who they'd bring in exactly if Capewell is that injured. You would assume maybe... I don't even know. I don't even know who you'd assume, to be honest with you. You might even be able to chuck into Carlton Hess or someone into the centres. Maybe someone like that. But the rest of the side, the halves look is pretty set, and Munster, Cherry Evans controlled it beautifully. Munster steps up for Origin every year. Well, he doesn't even need to step up. He just plays to his ability. Cherry Evans gets the job done. He knows how to steer the team around. It's perfect. Pretty much a perfect combination, to be honest with you. I feel like Queensland, although they don't have the depth in New South Wales, they have the actual ability. Their spine is quite good. And then you add in, Cherry Evans and Munster. I think it's a much better halves combo than Walker and Cleary. So even so, after all these years of Queensland having the dominant halves and all those guys retiring and moving on, even now I think they still have the better halves pairing with Cherry Evans and Munster. And then even like when Munster played fullback, even then Munster's a very, very good fullback. Just the fact that they got Munster on the side, he's definitely a plus. He's so versatile as well. Can defend in the centres like he did last game. They can shuffle him around wherever they want, especially with Ben Hunt on the bench. It sort of offers a lot of options there if injuries do happen. The rest of the side though, I mean, you've got Dynamis Louis coming in, making his debut. I've always found him to be sort of a solid player. Don't know how he'll go on Origin, it remains to be seen. He's going to be coming up against Payne Haas, Daniel Safidi, Junior Paulo, Dale Finucane. He's going to come up against a lot of big boppers. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes, because he's in this Raiders side. He's always been a guy who, whenever I say Dynamis Louis, I always think of him as that Broncos bench player, but he's a lot more than that these days. But he's also in a very, very solid Raiders side. So is he underrated or is he overrated? I'm not exactly sure. Probably underrated is probably more likely. He'll probably come out, have a killer game for Queensland, and then he'll be hyped up again. But then we have Felice Kavisi, Jaden Stewart into the starting lineup. I think that's pretty much a no-brainer. Cohen Hess, I don't remember doing a hell of a lot in the game. I actually don't really remember him being on the field. And even going into the game, there's a lot of question marks as to how he's even picked to start off with, considering his form for the Cowboys. Some people say there was injuries and stuff at the end of the year. There's also talk about him actually being dropped, and then the injury was a cover-up. I'm not sure which one it is, but either way, it's not like he was setting the world on fire, and he definitely didn't set the world on fire for Origin, but he also didn't stand out as well, which I suppose is a good thing. He kind of he was just there. He was just passionate. He wasn't good, he wasn't bad, he was just kind of there. And look, for New South Wales, I think it's a bad sign. Look, Jaden Sewer I think is a much better player, so I think their 4-pack is immediately better with Jaden Sewer in the side compared to Cohen Hess. They didn't take advantage of him. Should have been targeting him in game 1, and they're not going to get the chance to in game 2 because Jaden Sewer's there. And you definitely don't want to target him in defense. He'll flatten you. He'll absolutely flatten you. Jaden Sewer is probably the best hitter in the game. Look, I know there's a few good ones, Radley and stuff, but yeah, Jaden Sewer, he definitely knows how to put a shot on. So in the Origin arena, all fired up. Wouldn't be surprised if he just does an absolute bell ringer on one of the New South Wales back rowers. Maybe Angus Crichton. I think that's who he's up against. I don't know exactly, but it makes sense. Then you have the bench. I think the bench is someone... It's a bench that going into game 1, it's not all that different to game 1, but I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be a weak point. But Ben Hunt came on, and I think he really changed the game. He's really, really good. He didn't actually come on in that hook position like I assumed. He came on and just literally played like a roaming half, which is something that I feel like a lot of people always talk about. Oh yeah, just chuck such and such in on the bench and have him come on in a roaming position. And a lot of the times it doesn't really work. I know Queensland have kind of done it with Kalen Ponga to a bit of success, and now they've done it to Ben Hunt. But a lot of teams tend to do it, or they don't even factor it in because they don't think it will work, / when they do, it doesn't really work. So the fact that Ben Hunt's able to come on, I think it really says a lot about Ben Hunt and his ability to step up in Origin games. He's a classy player, Ben Hunt. He gets a lot of stick, but he's very, very classy for Queensland at least. But Fodawaker, I'm keen to see how he goes. He's quite young, but I think he's kind of got a good dynamic. You have Dynamis Louis, who's just a solid player, where you got Fodawaker come on with a bit of impact. Especially match it up with the New South Wales big boppers on the bench. Junior Paulo come on, then you think Fodawaker probably come on and combat that. But Jai Arrow, he's an experienced head. Look, he's going to the Rabbitohs next year. I'm surprised he's not actually starting over Tino, but I thought Tino was very, very good. But Jai Arrow is a perfect person to come off the bench. Like I said, he's got experience. He's a big bopper, but he's not super slow or anything. You can sort of shift him around all those forward positions and he'll do a job for you. And then Lindsay Collins, look, he's had such a good end to the season. I said in game 1 of my team sort of review, look, he's a bit of like a meme for me at one point. I was just like, Lindsay Collins, like he's kind of just, he's in the Rooster side, but he's not very good. But look, he's definitely shown his worth to the Roosters. He's shown his worth to the Queensland side. And look, he's been fantastic for them. He's just another one that's not an absolute superstar or anything, but he's just going to be solid enough. And then hopefully for Queensland, their backs can get the job done. Cherry Evans, Munster can handle it and sort of carry them to victory there. Because I think the forward packs, they kind of even each other out, if that makes sense. Look, I feel like the New South Wales side is actually a better forward pack. But in terms of the Origin game, players are going to step up. It's going to be a tough, gritty game. And I feel like it's not like a forward-pack battle where New South Wales is going to be so much better that they're just going to run straight through them. So as long as Queensland can sort of combat them a little bit and be sort of even with them, it's a battle of the backs. And in game 1, Queensland backs definitely took the W there. Well, it was on the scoreline as well as it was just evident to see. New South Wales got some lucky tries, Queensland got some lucky tries, but it was some moments of brilliance from the backs. They got Queensland home, and Cherry Evans and Munster brilliant at sort of guiding them to victory, but in the last couple of years they haven't been able to guide them to a series win. So the pressure's on for Queensland still. They've got the first game win. Can they get the win in game 2? Leave in the comment section below. What are your thoughts of the Queensland side? Is it good? Is it bad? Would you make any changes? I don't think there'd be too many changes people would think, but look, you never know. There's a couple of players who probably could be in the side. But yeah, leave in the comment section below. What are your thoughts of the game 2 side? Is it better than the first game? Is it worse? Let me know. Also, while you're at it, go ahead and give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also turn on the notification bell. It is quite important. Let you be notified when I upload immediately, especially with all the people uploading just general content. I was going to say footy content, but just content in general. You could miss some videos. So go turn on the notification bell if you're a fan of these videos. Also give me a follow on social media. I'll probably post out links and sort of do a few tweets and a few Snapchats. It's not on there, but it's exactly the same, so it's on there. Mr. Luke and White Tape. Facebook is also in the description as well. And guys, that is the end of this video. Can't wait for Origin 2. Hopefully New South Wales get the win, but Queensland would not be surprised if they wrap up the series here. Could be 2-0, could be even 3-0 to Queensland, who knows. But that's how I'm going to end the video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.